And everyone, now it's time for another section of meditation. And as usual, let's do some warming up or exercise. Still, we start with our head. So we put aside our head slowly, the left side first, and then we try the right side. And then we will rotate our neck, of course, with our head together. So let's start. I'll turn your head to your left side and try to look back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now loosen up. Again, to your left side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now loosen it up. To your left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. To the center. Again, to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now back to the center. We take right side. To your right side. Look back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Back to the center. To your right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remember, when you do this, you don't shrug up your shoulder, relax your shoulder. Okay. Once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Back to the center. Again, to your right. And look back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now we rotate slowly our head and our neck from right side to, from left side to right side. Slowly. To your right side. To the center. Again. Once more. Right side. Left side to your right side. Okay, now right side to left side. Slowly. Again. Once more. And last time we're doing this. Okay, now our shoulder, relax, and your shoulder up. Okay, to backward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now go forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, one more time, backward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now our knees. So open up your feet and bend down a little bit. Okay. Now we can rotate our knees, our 2 knees, from left hand side to right hand side. Okay, now slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now the other side, from left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we are going to swing our 2 arms. I will stand like this and side so you can see. Okay. Now swing our arms to the height of your shoulder, like this. And 5 times, 2 arms together, and don't swing it too fast. Just slowly. And we count 5, and the 6th times we bend down our knees a little bit and jump like 1, 2. Okay, so let's do it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we close like this. Okay, that's our little warming up. Right now, it's our time for taking meditation. And don't forget, no matter what ways or what methods you are using, but just be mindful. Mindful, that means enjoy the present moment. Now let's get ready. Check your position first. Beware of your physical body. And your head, your spine, your tongue, your eyes, and your posture. Now, practicing mindfulness is being the present moment. And what is the present moment? Breathing is our anchor. No matter what's happening on your mind, on your brain, let's gently go back to our breathing. You can count your breathing, or you can either simply pay attention to your breathing, especially when they hit the under part of your nostrils. Now let's begin. Sorry, I didn't bring my golden fish with me this time. But when I said 1, 2, 3, then we calm down our mind and bring in our regularly breathing in and out. Now, 1, 2, 3. Enjoy your meditation. Before we open our eyes, we rub our two hands until they are warm, massage our face, our head, and our ears. Again, rubbing, massaging our shoulder, our arms, our hands. Rubbing again. Give some massage on our back, on the waist. Massage again. To our legs, our feet, our ankles. Rubbing again. Massage our fingers. Okay, now we can open our eyes, and I'm getting near to my laptop. Okay, so give me a few seconds before I can share my PowerPoint with you. Please nod your head, please. Okay. So today, again, I think it's a very interesting topic. We talk about the brain's function. So also we are saying that when we practicing meditation, we better ignore all the thinkings and all the thoughts or our emotions arise from our brain or our mind, right? But what about in our real life, when we living in our life, how can we think? And what kind of think can we have? Of course, we cannot control everybody's mind or thinking, but at least when we taking meditation as our daily practice, and also in our life, we can train our mind to be more rational and to be more compassionate and to be more spacious. That's why I think it's a very interesting topic. Just talking about how to think and also rethink or think again is very important for us. Just like we have the self-reflection for practicing, I think is, of course, we always do the thinking process, but we can rethink. When we have a mistake, we can correct. So is the thinking. Our brain can work as well. Okay, so this is my subtitle. Think, rethink like a scientist. Of course, we are not talking about the real scientist. We are not really holding telescope or magnifier to check every detail. It's not like that. But to me, scientists, they don't guess. They don't presume, right? They don't, oh, I think I know. Oh, that's the truth. I know already. But they always correct their thinking or their opinion when they when they have new information or new evidence. I think that's the attitude of being scientific. So we are talking about, of course, it's a very broad major topic, but I only just include just one point. Just can we think like a rational person, like a person who practicing the middle path? That's what I'm going to share with you. So during the pandemic, I learned a lot of things. Some is very sad. It's when we live in the reality, we accept the bad things and the good things. Just like when you open up your devices or your cell phone or your iPad, you also see the bad news and you see the good news. So that's the truth in our life. I learned about so many things, but I would like to point out too, just in general, for my opinion or my own experience, I think that the 2 points are very important. The first one is, of course, lesson 1, we accept impermanence, right? So maybe for people who haven't trained their mind or haven't trained their concept, maybe to have change is very, is not acceptable to them, because I am used to do that. I am used to think that. But suddenly everything changed. And maybe it's less scary because I don't know how to face the change. Maybe I'm not skillful for the changing. It's a changing world, especially in these 2 years, right? We thought we have a wonderful life. We can join so many social activities, but all of a sudden we're being locked down, we're being restricted to maybe buy even paper towel. So it's a big change. It's a little bit scary, but to our thinking, it doesn't need to be like that. We just set our mind, if we can accept this change, rapid change, to be another opportunity of learning, so we can set our mind to have a challenge instead of this is the threat to me. That's what I learned, really. Because of course, as you know, most of our temples are not yet open. And once in a while, I think, wow, so every temple is closed down. And what are we going to do? What are we going to do with our daily? Of course, we have daily chanting. I mean, for the morning and evening chanting, of course we can do that. But without disciples coming, will we lose them? It's a fact, right? How do we going with our the other things? How can I just chant in front of an empty room? So we were forced to use or to learn the new technology skill, right? Using the Zoom. So of course, at first it's a threat to us because we are not used to this kind of mode of life. But gradually we accept that and we don't think it's very scary. But instead, we think this is a good chance for us to learn things, to even take care of more of yourself and others. We can connect in our line or in our Zoom meeting. So change is not that scary. That's one thing I learned. And also, you know, after in a storm, we have a water breakout. So the first floor is all damaged. So we need to restore the first floor I spent 2 months to do that. And I have gone through so many details to find every materials I need to fix the first floor. And at the same time, I have to take care of the 20 kids because they are still going to our preschool. So it's a new challenge for me. For 2 months, I don't say I have a depression, but apparently I'm not happy. So that's a challenge to me. But I just keep telling myself, challenge is good. It's an opportunity to learn new things. And I did. I knew some technical skill. And I know, even though I cannot really do it by myself, but when I observe the workers doing the wall, doing the floor, I know the procedure. So I think it's really a challenge to me. And also it's a learning chance to me. So when we facing this, if we can be prepared and also we treat the change or impermanence, it's a challenge, it's an opportunity instead of threat, then we can have more energy. We can have more positive energy. And of course, the number 2, we must be prepare and keep our positive thinking, but also we need to be realistic. We are not bury our head on the sand and say, no, I don't care. I don't like the outside situation. I just keep on my own corner. It's not that. We all have the comfort zone, but sometimes we have to walk out and we have to see the reality of the world. So we can stay informed by receiving from our YouTube, from our iPhone, but we have realistic. We don't have the illumination. We don't have the illuminous expect. We keep informed and we be prepared. Why we have more information and we get a better idea. So we are not fooling around by only one source. We can, we can compare and we can see so many voices and hear so many voices and see so many ideas. So that's what I learned. The 2 most things. I think that's very important to me. And why I'm saying this, because I just want to share usually how we think. And for scientists, especially the psychiatrist, they said, it's not my said, it's their said. This part is what I thought, okay? So I just have their teaching as reflecting of my thinking. So let's take the 4 modes of thinking. It's very interesting. Just take a look. Is that the 4 modes of thinking? That's the thinking style we usually have when we approach problems or approach a situation we need to encounter. So it says we have 4 modes of thinking. First is the preacher type. You know the preacher? I mean, maybe you said, you are the preacher, you are the Dharma preacher. Yes, I am a preacher. And sometimes we play the mode of we think we all always right. We think we know the truth. So when we have that kind of thinking, I'm not talking about myself, I'm thinking all of us. When we facing a problem, we might have these kind of thinking, or when we facing someone who is difficult with us. So we might have that kind of thinking. I'm not talking about the thinking when we taking meditation. It's not. I'm talking about our real life modes of thinking. So the first thinking is that we are always right. I know everything. I knew it already. I told you already. I knew you would do that. I always know. Just like the mom tell his kids, I'm always watching you. I know what are you doing. Don't lie to me. Be nice. Just something like that. I think that's a preacher mode. And of course, protector, you want to fight. And you want to prove always you are wrong. You know, defend myself. This kind of thinking is very defensive. Defend myself because I want to prove you are wrong. Just like standing in front of the judge, you're doing the defending. Sometimes we think like that. If we have negative thought, if we think we are defended, right? So sometimes we're thinking that, oh, what do you think you are? Even though we never talk, but we have that kind of thinking. We are angry, so we want to fight back. And of course, you know, the third one is very tricky one, politician. A lot of people said, oh, I'm not so politics. But what is politician mode? Is that he try to persuade and win the approval from his audience. That's what they said. That's a politician mode. And of course, there is another thinking. It's what I said in our Buddhist teaching is thinking. I am human. I'm not overpride to myself. And also, I'm always curious to everything. I'm not convincing you to believe in me. I don't think Buddha did that way, right? So Buddha, when he taught from his own experience. He never said, you have to listen to me, listen well. He didn't say that, but he would use so many ways, maybe politician way, to maybe to persuade you, but he also said, you have doubts. If you have doubts in my teaching, then you test it. It's okay. Because after test, and you will know what I'm saying is true. But he didn't say, you must listen to me first. You have to put the strong faith to me first. He didn't say that. He encouraged his disciple to test his teachings. So I think he is always have a scientific thinking because he was aware, he was self-aware, and he attained enlightenment. So in his teachings or in his thinking or in his communication with others, he is always humble and always keep in a middle way. I mean, the attitude. So according to the scientist or psychiatrist, he said a scientific way is you open up your mind and you look for reasons why you might be wrong instead of making or prove yourself you are always right. I think that's very important for us when we live in this world, because we all know we are not the only one in the earth. We have a strong connection with others. So we have so many others. We are not always right. But when we think, it's very fast. So it needs to be trained, because when we think, we react at the same time. If we can rethink, of course, when I think I'm now in a preacher mode, I'm so strong. I take this the opinion in a very, very strong and stern attitude. Maybe that's the preacher mode. But the second thinking, we can rethink, always can change. So even though, of course, we have preacher mode, we have politician mode, but we always can change or rethink to a scientific way, to think like a scientist. So I think that's very important for us. There is no right or wrong for those four modes, but this is a way, or this is the category that the psychiatrists, they just give us some information about our thinking. Of course, this is not, you can say, I don't believe you, but I just provide them to think. I think that's very interesting. Maybe you can find more modes of thinking or more modes thinking plus emotions, because we are all act, or we are always thinking every second or every moment. So I think this is very interesting. I found out in a book. And of course, he had so many details about the research. But as a conclusion, because we don't have much time, as a conclusion, he said, a preacher always knows the truth, right? I always know what you are doing. And the other one is trying to win an argument, just like the box fighter. When they punch, they have to hit very hard. Just like when we think we are right, we want to argue with someone. I'm right, and we are on that move. The one who wants to protect themselves very much. And sometimes we think like a politician. We want to amuse you, maybe. We want to make words you want to hear. So that's the description for the three modes of thinking. Of course, apparently, you see the scientist or the psychiatrist, they encourage us to think like a scientist. So what kind of thinking is to think or rethink like a scientist? The first one, if we can keep ourselves fresh every day, then we have less chance to get stuck in familiar ways of thinking. And sometimes, just like we are an expert, just like the electrician, they know all kinds of electricity, but sometimes they have to put down, they have to maybe find a new way to tackle the electricity problem. So if we can keep our refresh all day, or we have keep our thinking refreshed, so we won't get stuck in a very stubborn thinking or stubborn way. We don't want to give up. This is the way I used to do. I just used to do that. I can never change. And if we have that kind of thinking, we are not a scientist. So if we want to train our mind, I think I talked about that last week, how to sharpen our mind, to cultivate our flexibility and also cultivate our resilience. I think that's very important, not for ourselves, live everyday life, but also when we learn or when we practice Buddhism, I think that's very important for us. Our ideas can become refreshed. And of course, don't let our ideas become just that. That's me. That's my thinking. We can never label that, right? And of course, our ideas, if we identify our ideas like that, we label that, then it will block out our refreshed ways. And how to think like a scientist? Of course, just like we learn from Buddhism, we accept the rapid changing situation. Even though it comes too fast, we cannot face that, or we have difficulty facing that. But this is the fact. We accept and we learn. And of course, the last one is cultivating intellectual humility. At the first time, I don't quite understand what does that mean. But gradually, I think cultivating intellectual humility is that I don't know, it's okay. I don't know. Of course, I'm not good at everything. I know I am not the expert of something, so I can have more space to learn. So it's okay. So they said, it's okay to be not okay. I think that's a very humorous for us to live in this world. It's okay, I don't know, but I can learn, right? Of course, we don't say, I don't know, it's none of my business. It's not a good attitude, right? So we just, I don't know, but I will find out, I can learn. I have more flexibility, so I can have more positive energy in my daily life, okay? So at last, that's my conclusion. Cultivate resilience in our thinking. Because when we think, that's the first step. If we can rethink, it's perfect. Actually, it doesn't give us any difficulty to rethink, just to have more consideration once more. We can rethink always. So just keep ourselves more fresh. We won't stuck in our old habits. We can have more advanced thinking. And of course, we care more about our learning. We don't stuck on the same spot. And we can improve ourselves more than proving ourselves. I'm always right. It's not useful. I mean, just to prove or you want to fight back in our thinking. You just loosen up yourself and then you can improve yourself more. And of course, we don't trap in our mental prisons. What is our mental prison? Just like we have much negative thought, we have fear, and we have something we want to face. We don't trap in that. That's the mental prison. Just like we say in Buddhism, we have 3 poisons, or we have doubt, and we have so many worries, resentment. When we have that kind of thinking, and plus in our meditation practice, before we have that kind of negative thinking, we will get noticed. Just like you can get the notification from your computer. We can get the notice advance. When we have meditation practice, something comes out, but before it came to be too real, we can get it. We can get the notification because we calm down our mind. And of course, we get more sensitive of the function of our mind. Okay, so just keep more fresh every day. Even though the pandemic still goes on, but we have to live on too, because we are all living in the same era, and we can use the more advanced way to keep us have more optimism. We can more flexible, and also we can more happier and more relaxed. Okay. So I will talk about the happiness of living in a data era. So I think that's it's a fact, right? We use modern devices. We are not trapped into overusing it. But how can we have a very balanced life while we have too many modern devices around? I think that's also a very interesting topic. So I will see you next week. Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you, Mangwang Pasha.
Thank you,
Amitabha. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, dear
Thank you,
Shifu. Thank you, dear everyone.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Amitabha.